We won. 15-9.
Wonders will never cease. Grab a chair.
Ah, having clearer.
Oh, those letters. I can't think why I've carted them around the world. We're on the move.
Hong Kong would be nice.
North Krona.
North where?
Yes, that's what I said. A small, normally uninhabited island in the Outer Hebrides. Currently supporting a Ministry of Defence-sponsored scientific station.
Some programming officer's got a sense of humour.
Right. Scientific party comprises 3 men and 2 women. A fire has occurred in their main stores hut. The crabs have dropped... The Royal Air Force have dropped emergency supplies. Our task is bulk food delivery, also some replacement scientific instruments, and to assist with any rebuilding they may require.
I think I'd rather do a workup of Portland.
Right.
Hoping that locals keep a good bar.
Scientists. Used to know one of them. Long time ago. Right, better get the stores party organised.
Right, sir, when do we sail?
As soon as the stores are on board, they're on their way by road.
Rush job?
Fast passage. I better tell you what really goes on at North Krona. And this is for your own information only. It's supposedly a Met station monitoring Atlantic weather. In fact, it monitors Soviet nuclear submarines. Now, here's North Krona. Now, Soviet nuclear submarines on their way to detect our own nuclear boats leaving the Clyde come either west of the Outer Hebrides down here or through the Minches down here. North Krona, as you can see, is ideally situated to pick them up either way.
Is North Krona operational, sir?
It's experimental, I believe. They haven't told me much, but it's a top-secret project.
What about this fire?
Didn't seriously affect their food supplies.
So, it's equipment.
Sit down. Yes, most of those boxes contain hardware of the highly classified variety.
Anything on the people themselves?
The leader's a man called Professor Marcus Anvey. The others are Mr. Lovett, Mr. Baker, Miss Lander, and Miss Voigt.
They might at least have balanced up the numbers, made it 3 men and 3 girls.
They're scientists. Pastime strictly intellectual.
We can see about that when we get there. What's your ETA, Paul?
10:15 Wednesday morning, sir. There she is, sir. North Krona.
Scientific station on the south side. Oh, fair size, isn't it?
Yes, they've got their own electrical generator, that sort of thing.
Looks like a moon base.
Looks like the moon.
Well, at least the natives are supposed to be friendly. Right, Derek, get those boats in the water.
Aye, sir. Shall I bring Professor Anvey back with me?
What makes you think it's your watch ashore, number one?
Are you going, sir?
Lieutenant Peake and I shall lead the North Krona Expeditionary Force. You can mind the shop for a change.
Marcus Anvey, thank you for coming.
Alan Glenn, Captain of Zero. Lieutenant Paul Peake, my navigator, sir.
If you'll dump the stores here, we'll take them back to the camp ourselves. It's only just over there, as you can see.
We'll give you a hand with them. And I've got a bunch of willing volunteers for any rebuilding or tidying up.
Not necessary, I can assure you.
Oh, we'd like to.
And we like to be self-sufficient. We're ridiculously sensitive about our camp.
Yes, I understand. How about a change of cooking? If you'd all care to come and have lunch with me.
Thank you. We've already prepared our lunch. We really are frantically busy.
Of course.
Again, Commander, I'm obliged to you for coming.
Professor?
Commander, I really must ask you to keep your men away from my installations. There are delicate instruments there.
Grogan, back here!
I apologize.
Just hang around the stores, Dump. See what you can... Come in.
Oh, as the navigating officer fallen in love with a buxom boffin.
They weren't exactly the loving kind. If not unfriendly, the natives were certainly distant.
What happened?
Professor Anvey suggested that we dump the gear on the beach and get the hell off his island. That's what happened.
Well, presumably he didn't want anybody rumbling the fact that they're not a met station.
You couldn't really tell what it is. But the moment Grogan wandered up there...
Grogan. Go and find him. And the master.
Yes, sir.
Something worrying you, sir?
No, not really. It's just the feeling of the place. They all behave so unnaturally. I mean, if you've been stuck here for weeks on end, wouldn't you welcome the chance of a decent meal and a change of company?
They refuse lunch.
Categorically, and all help with moving stores, rebuilding, renovating.
Doesn't make sense.
No, not if Anvey's as dedicated as he seems. They want the work done as fast as possible. And a party of sailors with shipwrights and engineers.
I suppose if he's a security maniac.
Oh, yes, there's something else. One of the girls, Katharina Voigt, I met her in the States about 5 years ago.
Oh, yes?
Well, she didn't exactly fall upon my neck this afternoon.
Well, perhaps you didn't recognize you.
It wasn't dark all the time in San Diego.
I see. And if she has an understanding with one of the men here now...
Maybe. Oh, there's probably an explanation for all of it. Come in. Ah, Grogan.
Sir?
What did you see at the camp?
Not a lot, sir. A bit of fire damage. One building gutted. Others were okay. A few boxes lying around.
Did you see into any of the huts?
Only one, sir. A sort of a small dining hall. Table was laid, upright chairs, and...
Oh, what is it?
Oh, nothing. It's just... Well, aren't there supposed to be 5 people in their team, sir?
3 men, 2 women.
Table was laid for 4.
We only saw 4. 2 men, 2 women.
Well, couldn't the other one have been away? Other side of the island?
The island's not that big. Could have got back to the camp for lunch, surely.
Oh, but the ship arriving, I mean, wouldn't he want to see it, meet the people from it? He's been limited to the same faces day in and day out.
Excuse me, sir. Do you think there was something wrong on that island?
I don't know, you were there.
Well, sir, while you were talking to the professor, I was watching the other 3. They were scared, sir.
You sure?
It's part of my job, sir. I reckon I can tell when somebody's got something to hide.
Look, I wasn't there. But maybe the others were apprehensive about what Anvey might say or do. Maybe they'd have loved to come on board, but Anvey said no, for his own reasons. Anvey's the boss.
Yes, and Anvey was charming. Firm but perfectly polite and totally correct. But my impression's the same as the master's. They're just a little too anxious to get rid of us.
Do we take a hard look at the island, sir?
Not overtly. But I think Grogan here could become a very difficult and very thick-skinned Scot.
Lieutenant,
Oh, yes, Mr.
one of your men is going round the island with a pair of binoculars. A Scotsman.
Yes?
He must be recalled to the beach at once.
Hasn't been in your camp, has he?
No, but
Well, all the sailors have been told to keep away from your camp, not to interfere with your work. And they've a right to stretch their legs over the rest of the island.
They haven't.
Oh?
This island's protected by the Official Secrets Act.
No one told me.
I'm telling you.
Sorry, but I take my orders from Commander Glenn. If you want the whole island put out of bounds, then Professor Anvey must take it up with him.
Come in.
Professor Anvey, sir.
Ah, Professor. Just in time for coffee.
No, thank you.
Please, sit down.
Thank you.
I was just about to send a message ashore. Ask if you'd all like to come to supper and Wardroom Cinema this evening.
But won't you have sailed by this evening?
No, we'll still be here.
Well, how long is it going to take you to unload the stores?
Oh, not too long. But we've been programmed to stay here for a couple of days. We thought we'd be working for you.
Yes, well, I've already explained that won't be necessary.
Oh, of course, of course. Are you sure you won't have some coffee?
No, thank you.
Can't say I blame you.
You were explaining.
Oh, yes. The weather forecast's good. So I'll be sending banyan parties. I'm sorry, picnic parties ashore tomorrow.
But that's why I've come to see you. I can't have your men roaming about on North Krona.
If they keep away from your equipment.
Commander, I don't want to be unreasonable, but there is equipment all over the island. Now, I can't have them stumbling on that.
Very well. I'll restrict them to the beach area where we're landing the stores.
Look, I am grateful to you, but I'd much prefer it if you just go away and leave us in peace.
Can't we compromise?
Can't you picnic elsewhere?
Well, let's think about it, shall we? Until supper this evening.
I'm sorry. Genuinely. I'm afraid I haven't the time. Neither have my colleagues. Our regrets and, thanks.
Well, offer it to them anyway. They might enjoy a film.
We are not here to enjoy ourselves, Commander. But it seems that you are.
No, it's part of my duties to extend hospitality.
Yes, well, I've told you. Don't delay sailing on our account.
Oh, I won't. I'll go.
Good.
When I'm ready.
Don't bother to see me to the boat.
That's part of my duties, too. Come to my cabin. Both of you. No. Well, Grogan?
Went all over the island, sir. No sign of a third man.
Could you have missed him?
I don't think so, sir. Went all over the place. Doubled back, stood on high ground. Didn't see a soul until I went back to the camp.
Did you see any equipment away from the camp? Tents, aerials, anything?
No, not a thing, sir.
A good professor has just told me he has equipment all over the island.
If he has, sir, it's camouflaged.
All right, Grogan, well done.
Sir?
Oh, remember, you can discuss this with the master, nobody else.
Aye, sir.
Oh, that's a good man, that. One of my better rogues. Well, what now?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Anvey does just want to get on with the job.
What was he like just now?
Rational, I suppose. Logical. But not at all keen to bring his party on board.
And show the third man.
Who may be recovering from a hangover, for all we know.
What about all this equipment that Grogan couldn't find?
I wouldn't know a piece of submarine monitoring equipment if it slapped me in the face. Neither would Grogan.
Probably mostly underwater. But if there is anything sinister going on, it's hard to believe that 4 or 5 of them are involved.
Exactly. Well, I've carried out my orders, delivered the stores, offered assistance. I can sail.
But you won't.
No.
Good.
This is a top-secret project, Derek. If there's anything wrong, we want to know.
So we report to Maud.
Report what? A vague feeling of unease?
Oh, it's more than that.
You try putting it in writing. They think we've been at the gym. Again.
Well, that's a lot, Professor.
Most grateful to you, Lieutenant. Good luck to you.
Won't we be seeing you all in the wardroom this evening?
I'm afraid we're rather busy. If you'll excuse me.
What about you, Miss...
I'm sorry.
Jane? I shall have to sit next to my first lieutenant again. Not nearly as pretty as you.
Thank you anyway.
What about the other lovely lady?
Goodbye, Lieutenant.
They're scared, all right.
The dark sultry piece might have stopped to chat if Anvey hadn't put the evil eye on her. And you're ugly enough to appeal to the other one.
Married man, sir.
This is for Queen and country.
I suppose we could miss the boat, sir.
Yes. We might just do that.
Right, what is it? Anvey. How old will you say he is?
Oh, 43.
That's what I said. Who's Who says he's 56.
That's a 13-year difference. 10 at least. Either he's remarkably well preserved.
Or he isn't Anvey.
You've definitely got the right one.
Yes, sir. Marcus David, Professor, etc., etc. Eton and Oxford, etc., etc.
Eton. You went there.
As you constantly remind me.
Or is anyone you could cable there for a description of Anvey?
Yes, we'd have a reply by the morning.
Good.
You realise what this would mean, sir? If Anvey isn't Anvey, the others must know. And whatever it is, they're all in it together.
Yes.
Including Katharina Voigt.
So send the cable and let's find out.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but we were doing a final check on the boxes, and the boat went without us.
I see. We'll inform the ship. Baker, would you mind?
Perhaps we could wait for the boat here?
All right. Katharina, would you show these gentlemen to the recreation hut? And Edith, could you find them a cup of tea, please?
This way, please.
In other words, stick them in a hut where they can't see anything.
And give them tea to keep them there.
Tea. Or make yourselves comfortable.
I'm Paul Peake.
Harry Burnett.
I'm Katharina Voigt.
Is that German?
My ancestry. I was born in England.
And buried in Scotland.
What?
I mean, lost up here in the wilds.
Oh, well, there's plenty to do.
Too much, it seems. You sure you won't change your mind about coming to the wardroom this evening?
Well, I'd love to. I really.
We have to work this evening. We're behind schedule with a fire.
Well, yes, there must be a lot of work for 4 of you. Oh, there are 5 of you, aren't there? Don't think I've met the 3rd man.
He's been on the far side of the island today, checking gauges.
Ah, that's, Mr...
Do sit down.
That's Mr. Lovett, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Lovett.
Well, I'll just see if your boat's on its way. They're snooping.
Yes, of course they are. The boat would never have left without the officer.
What are they asking?
About Mr. Lovett? Where is he? Why haven't they seen him?
Why don't they sail and mind their own business?
They will. They can't stay here forever. Just keep cool and write it out. Glenn has nothing to go on.
So there's still nothing to go on.
Except that we know that Lovett is the one that we haven't seen.
If something's happened to Lovett, sir, and they're covering, why don't they say he's sick? Confined to bed or something?
No. I thought about that. Look, sit down, all of you. That's the one thing they couldn't afford to say. In case we carried a doctor, they'd have no excuse but to let him see Lovett. Now, they've admitted the existence of a third man. We can't find him, and let's assume for the moment that something's happened.
That means that the four at the left are lying in concert.
And why are they lying, and what have they got to hide?
Wild suggestions?
As wild as you want to make them.
Well, the master and I were talking on the way back. Katharina Voigt has German forefathers. Now, if they were East German...
And the fire wasn't an accident?
No, the fire must have been an accident. A damned unfortunate one for them. It forced them to bring us in.
Katharina Voigt?
Doesn't hold again. If she's working for the East Germans, then so are the rest of them. As number one says, they're lying in concert.
What if Lovett died in the fire?
What if he did?
And what if the fire was due to carelessness on the part of the other four?
Who would know? And no other witnesses.
Huh. I know it's inconceivable, but you remember the joke I made about evening up the numbers of men and women?
It is inconceivable.
Except sex is a fair old motive for murder.
So Anvey and Baker sat down one day and said, let's get rid of Lovett, have a girl each. So they killed him and the girls went along with it. I'm sorry, we'll have to do a lot better than that.
So I'm a strange, eccentric boffin, obsessed with work.
It was refusing to let them move the stores into the camp. That's what got them suspicious.
Why? I'm over-security conscious. Well, they can't prove that I'm not.
Still.
Mike, I'd no choice. If I'd let them in today, I would have had to let them in tomorrow to do repair work. And Lovett must be here tomorrow. He can't be out of the camp for 48 hours.
Glenn's invitations.
So I'm antisocial. Won't let the rest of you go.
But that is suspicious. I mean, some of us should be keen to go. It's only natural.
The invitation was to all of us. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us. Where's Lovett supposed to be? Duty officer in the camp? Fat chance he'd believe that.
One of us could go, though. Apologise that the rest really are working. Only one could be spared.
Well, it might knock him off his stride if one of us did go.
Hell of a strain on the one who did.
I'll do it. Now, listen. Listen, if either of you two go, they'll talk business. Not with a girl. Well, they are sailors, after all.
Have you got an evening dress?
On North Krona.
All right. Well, do what you can. And take your time. Let's see if our fair lady can get his mind off Mr. Lovett.
We can but try.
Come in.
It's a message from North Krona, sir.
Yes?
Miss Voigt finds herself unexpectedly free and would be pleased to avail herself of your supper invitation.
Well. Katharina Voigt.
Is she as delectable as the pilot claims?
She's a pretty girl. Send the motorboat inshore.
Derek. Yes, sir.
Paul can go with it, unannounced.
Quick look see around the camp.
In the guise of escort to Miss Voigt.
I'll stand to one side when I tell him. Might get killed in the rush.
You really do look super.
Dainty dish to set before the captain.
All right. Now, Katharina, go and make peace for all our sakes, hmm?
Oh, do we know his first name?
Yes, Alan Glenn.
Well, let's hope that I can do something.
Good evening. I've come to collect Miss Voigt. If you're ready, ma'am, your carriage waits.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Damn! Glenn said he'd send the boat in 10 minutes and nothing about an officer with it.
Another spot of spying.
Everything's locked and in the dark.
That's not the point.
The point is there are still only 4 of us. Lovett couldn't be checking gauges at this time of night.
Well, it's up to Katharina now.
Come in.
Miss Voigt, sir.
Thank you, pilot.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Alan Glenn.
Long time. 5 years?
5 years, 11 months.
Is it? Sit down. Sherry?
Thank you. It was a bit of a shock. Seeing you stepping off that boat today.
Yes, it must have been. I thought we might eat in here. Unless you'd particularly like to see the wardroom moving.
I prefer it on our own.
So would I. Cheers. The last time we met, you called yourself a civil servant.
I do work for the government.
Yeah, but not pushing paper, if you led me to believe.
Well, I could hardly tell you I was in the States to learn about submarine detection methods. Security, you know.
Was it security that stopped you from welcoming me to North Krona?
Sort of. Well, security is an obsession with Professor Anvey. That's why he wouldn't let you into the camp. I was afraid that he might stop me from seeing you altogether.
How long have you been on the island?
Oh, about 5 months.
You must get on very well with each other.
It's a bit like being on board ship, I suppose. One has to get on.
Well, yes, but we're not stuck on board for 5 months at a time. And when we are on board, there's a wider choice than 4 to talk
There
to.
are 5 of us.
I meant 4 others. Although we've only seen 4 of you. Mr. Lovett. Hermit type, is he?
Oh, no. No, he just happened to be busy today. Actually, he might have come with me tonight, but he was so tired when he got back to the camp that he went straight to bed.
Shall we eat?
See the first lieutenant.
Oh, he's looking for you, sir. Oh, no, he's not, sir.
Where have you been?
Changing my shoes and socks. I had to lift Miss Voigt into the boat.
Thought you had a strange look on your face. Right. What activity on the Western Front?
Just the faithful 4. All in the recreation hut when Anvey said they'd be working.
What about the camp?
Too dark. I walked into a pile of Freon bottles. Scared the hell out of myself. Gave up after that.
You're too anxious to get at Miss Boyd.
Worth getting your feet wet.
Worth swimming back to Pompeii in ceremonial dress.
That was the best meal I've had in 5 months.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed.
At least you haven't forgotten that I smoke.
Don't think I've forgotten anything about San Diego.
You haven't mentioned any of it.
No?
Why did you stop writing, Alan?
Should we move to the armchairs?
Well?
Oh, I don't know.
You once told me about a saying you had in the Navy.
What saying?
Oh, meaning that when you sail from a place, you owe nothing to the girl you leave behind.
Oh, yes. First turn of the screw and all debts are paid.
And that's it? And when you sailed from San Diego?
It's not the time, Katharina.
Why not? We've met again.
Professionally, because we both work for the government.
You're not fatalistic.
We knew each other for a little while in California. You stayed in the States, and I went through the canal back to England.
Yes.
Let's pick it up from there. After North Krona.
And ignore the... Why did you stop writing? Or, more to the point, why did the last letter you ever wrote still say that you loved me?
I can't believe
I have the letter. I have all your letters. They go everywhere with me. Another girl? Well, then what? Alan, I have a right to know.
You remember I was serving with the Vixen Squadron in Eagle?
8-9 something.
Well, we went through a bad patch. After we'd lost our 3rd crew in 3 months, I decided that I'd never marry while I was still flying. That day, I stopped writing.
You would have married me?
Yes.
And now?
Let it go.
Just like that?
For the moment.
Alan, have you any idea what it did to me? Someone suddenly shuts you out. Someone who says that he loves you. What do you believe in after that?
It wasn't easy for me.
You aren't flying now.
After we get back, Katharina. Another time, another place, eh? Captain, call away the motorboat's crew. Send Lieutenant Peake down to my cabin. Thank you.
What are you doing?
I'm sending you home.
Or running away again?
Relationships are based on trust, Katharina.
Yes.
Tell me what happened to Lovett.
Well, he's on that island, I swear it.
Alive or dead?
Alive! He is alive and well and on that island.
Come in. So, Paul, escort Miss Voigt back to her camp, will you? Pleasure, sir.
Thank you, Commander.
Good night.
Good night, Miss Voigt.
Yes.
If you like talking, sir.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just wondered if it was a good moment.
Oh, help yourself, Derek, and sit down.
Thank you, sir. Miss Voigt looked a little upset as she left.
I accused her of lying.
About Lovett?
I got myself to the point where I was going ashore in the morning to try a bit of gunboat diplomacy on Anvey.
And now?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a naval officer, not a policeman.
Yes. Anyway, we can slide out of it, get the law in.
No, not without a mod decision. We need a good reason to send the law stamping all over a top-secret base.
Which we can't yet supply.
Not without sounding like a bevy of hysterical maidens. Anyway, what law? Couldn't be the local bobby from one of the islands. Special branch, top CID at least. And where are they? Glasgow?
150 miles by boat. More or less makes us the law for the moment.
That's why we have to act like the law. No harassment. Proof before we can challenge Anvey's innocence.
I wonder how long it's been since a naval officer was charged with wrongful arrest. May I ask a personal question, sir?
No.
I see.
You don't. Trouble is, neither do I.
Still got their boats in the water.
So we have to weather it. We can do it.
Where's Mr. Lovett going to be today?
Working with Mr. Baker in the main installation. If the Navy come ashore, I want you to take 2 cups of tea, 2 meals, whatever, into the main hut.
If only we knew what was in Glenn's mind.
A reply from Eton, sir.
Yes?
Marcus Anvey, 56. Thick white hair. Tall, slim build. Best of all, happy-go-lucky.
Well, we can move now.
Oh, I'm sorry. So other means that Katharina Voigt...
We don't know what it means. Does it say if Anvey's married?
No, sir. But they could keep it from any wife. Stuck out here on an island.
They must have some form of lettergram arrangement for families. It's worth checking. And tell the ship's office to send a who's who up to my cabin.
So,
then call away the motorboat, get hold of Burnett and Grogan. I want you to come ashore with me as well.
Weapons, sir?
Yes. Pistols for you and me. Come in.
Ah, you've got who's who. Is he married?
No, he's not. I'm not blaming you, Derek, but it's a pity you got mesmerized by his date of birth.
So?
Read the rest of the entry.
I've read it, sir.
This time, take a close look at Professor Anvey's qualifications.
No, nothing makes sense.
I'm beginning to think that some of it does. Come on, let's have words in a few scientific ears.
There's a boat coming in from the ship.
Who's in it?
The captain and 4 or 5 others.
All right. Now, you stay where you are. Tell Edith to get her tea tray ready. And remember, keep calm. This is a normal, busy day on North Krona. Come on. Good morning, Commander. What can I do for you?
Let me see your main operations center.
Out of the question. It's top secret. Need to know.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Must get tea to the workers.
Stay here, Miss Lander.
But I'm only taking tea to Mr. Baker and Mr. Lovett.
Then give Mr. Lovett his tea. Don't let us stop you, Mr. Lovett.
I don't know what you're up to, Glenn, but I'm ordering you to leave this camp now.
I'm giving the orders, Lovett.
I could have you court-martialed.
I doubt that. Master at Arms, Grogan. Keep the ladies here. Number 1, come with me.
Where do you think you're going?
In there, with you.
Like hell you are. You don't know what you're doing.
I'd feel faintly ridiculous if I had to draw this thing on you.
I should hope so.
But if I do, it'll be to use it. Lead on. Go and join the others, Mr. Baker.
Move, Mr. Baker. Doesn't look like a submarine monitoring station to me.
None of your business what it is.
Oh, we know what it is, Mr. Lovett. And I can guess what's in these deep freezes. Botulism A, Francisella tularensis, Coxiella burnetii, anthrax. Or have you found something better?
Ask the Ministry of Defense.
I have. Top secret, officers only code. Request urgent confirmation that North Krona is a biological warfare unit.
How did you know?
I discovered that Professor Anvey is, or was, a biochemist. You've loads of Freon. Freon for deep freezers for keeping bacteria and viruses.
You don't know what you've done. This is one of the most highly secret establishments in the whole country.
That's the Ministry's fault. They should have told me the truth in the first place.
We've been operating a 3-tier security system. The submarine monitoring cover for those who had to know about the restricted access but weren't clear to know the truth.
Self-defeat.
That may be, but then in biological warfare, it's such an emotive subject.
Not to me. I've been to Portland. I've met the people there. Sensible, intelligent, responsible people carrying out necessary research. And what's been going on here? What's happened to Anvey? The truth, or you all come back to hero.
Two years ago, Professor Anvey asked to set up a unit to experiment on countermeasures to anti-personnel viruses. It involved atmospheric tests under true conditions.
Open-air tests?
Yes. Oh, there was a lot of opposition to it, of course. Too dangerous, the usual outcry. And then we found North Krona. Uninhabited, plenty of animal life. Easterly winds to carry the bacteria safely out to the Atlantic.
Safely? You mean it's self-degrading?
The strains that we were using, yes. Eventually, after a tremendous battle, they agreed to build this place. Oh, it had to be kept secret, of course, if the general public became aware that we were releasing viruses into the
Portman
atmosphere.
agreed to this. And the Ministry of Defence.
We're not sponsored by Portman.
No. It's all too wild to be a mod operation. What are you? SIS?
We're intelligence, yes.
When was the accident?
3 weeks ago.
Go on.
We wear special gas masks. They're checked every time, of course, but Anvey's must have gone defective during use. Well, there was nothing we could do for him.
Why didn't you report it?
We couldn't. It would have been the end of North Krona. They'd have pulled us out. It's all they needed.
You'd have to report it sometime.
Oh, yes, yes. You don't understand. We've waited for years for this opportunity. We're within weeks of a breakthrough, a big breakthrough. We'd have been finished now if it hadn't been for the fire. But with the replacement equipment that you brought us, a week or 2 weeks...
You all agreed to this?
Yes, of course. Oh, we knew it would be a risk with the ship coming. We discussed that. We knew that you would expect to meet the leader, Professor Anvey, and so I became Anvey.
But come the day, you're going to have to admit how and when he died.
Oh, how? Yes, yes, probably, but, well, not when. The day we were ready, we'd have reported that he'd just died.
You put him in a deep freeze.
We had to. We didn't like doing it, but we've got to finish here.
The girls, too. You stuck him in a deep freeze in here, and now you work around him.
You don't understand. It was...
Come on, Eric.
Glenn, listen to me.
I've heard it all, Mr. Lovett.
Please. If you report this now, all our work here will be for nothing.
That's not my decision.
Look, we are doing defensive research, really.
Then maybe they'll let you carry on. You'll have a few days anyway. They won't pull you out without a discussion.
But I thought that... You're not going to recommend taking us back?
I'll have sailed by noon.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. I don't want you in my ship. Master! Grogan! Let's go. Get in touch when you come back.
I want to talk to you. Alone.
Carry on back to the beach. I'll meet you at the boat. So.
What did you expect to find, Alan? Murder, manslaughter?
I didn't know.
Even though I was involved.
I'm sorry.
So am I. You said yourself, relationships are built on trust.
You lied to me last night.
I didn't. I told you Lovett was still alive.
And Anvey?
A very fine man, whose death would have been in vain had we reported it.
You're harder, aren't you?
I've grown that way. In the last 5 years and
I'd
11
allowed the
months.
career to take over.
It was all he left me.
I can make up for all that.
Oh, no, Alan. It's too late.
But you love me.
And you love me?
Yes, I do.
No. If you loved me, whatever I'd done, whatever I might have done, all the hand-holding would have been last night.
I had a job to do last
night. And I have a job to do now. One you don't like.
Give it up.
Why?
For us.
For love.
Yes.
The way you gave up flying 6 years ago. Goodbye, Alan.
You owe me more than that.
First turn of the screw, all debts are paid, remember? And your ship sails within the hour.
Bridge, Roger. Anchors clear of the water, sir.
Slow ahead, both engines.
Slow ahead, both engines. Both telegraphs fitted slow ahead, sir.
Starboard 15.
Starboard 15. 15 is starboard 1 off.